Oh
So
my
he just
God.
took the heat with him everywhere they went.
Everywhere you go, always take the weather with you.
Boo Foons, mystery investigators.
Off the case.
Welcome to Boo Foons Off the Case. It's Saturday, so it's time for a bit of a mad episode. I'm Dan.
I'm Steve.
And today we've got a guest. Hello, David.
Hello.
Hello, David.
Nice to have you here, David.
It's a pleasure.
I was going to say in the studio.
Yeah, actually in the studio.
This is the studio?
Well, one half of the studio.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, this is an interesting Saturday episode because I'm with people who have both joined me back when I did my radio career.
And the reason you don't have it anymore.
Yeah. Well, you started that off, Steve, because you joined me for the Christmas special, which has been released on Patreon for people to listen to on Patreon.
On audio cassette and digital download. There we go.
And then David joined me live in the studio a couple of times.
Yes, we did some very interesting broadcasts, didn't we? We did one on the worst songs ever.
Yep.
So we did the legendary Stardust Cowboy and Paralyzed, which is bad. It's basically just him yelping and yeah, while the music plays. And the instrumental is to die for. Literally, you'll lose the will to live. It's just an off-key trumpet.
And then there was the night you joined me where you started waving a cucumber around.
That's because I still had it in my bag. I forgot to take it out.
With the tub of Vaseline.
Shh.
Just because you have it doesn't mean you have to wave it around, David.
Oh, dear.
You don't have to show it off to everyone.
In fact, I've been growing my own cucumbers this year. Yeah,
He's a grower, not a shower.
Yeah.
Grower, not a shower.
Well, at least today, because you haven't brought them with you.
No, I haven't. No.
However, we do have to start this episode with a complaint. Anthony, who listens to our podcast and loves it. And he's actually got two complaints. His first complaint,
loves it so much, he's only got complaints.
Yep. So he was listening the other day to us talking about food and things. And we started talking about, and I'm going to ask David his opinion in a moment, the same question that you asked me.
Okay.
You know the mint shower gel?
Yes. Tingly.
Yeah. Original sauce.
Yeah. What's your opinion of it?
It's zingy. It's zingy. And it does sting a bit. If you know what I mean.
So you go for a sting. Steve went for a pleasant tingle. Yeah. Well, Anthony,
don't get it in your eyes.
Anthony tried it. Okay, so Anthony tried it. So
he hasn't tried it. His complaint is
he doused himself in it,
and he's probably going to complain again because Anthony listened to that. He thought it was hilarious. However, he's now got mental images of you and me in a shower using the original sauce shower gel. Yeah. So that's his complaint. He's now got this horrible image in his head.
Well, I know that Anthony might be absolutely turned off by it, but I know a lot of people who wouldn't be. As you know, I only can imagine, that there will be some people who would pay to see that. But never will. Just want to add.
His second half of the complaint was, we had the lovely email from Michael.
Yes.
Who asked us to get rid of the game show element.
Awful game show, yes.
Yeah. Anthony actually really enjoyed the game show and would like us to try and do a bit more of it because when he was listening to it in his van, he actually played along. So he has asked, can we do not every episode? Got to keep everyone happy, but can we occasionally bring it back so he can play along with us?
Here's an idea, right? why don't we do that, but at the end of the show? That way, Michael can turn off at that point.
Yes.
How
Before
about
we
that?
get to
We can
the
keep both our listeners happy. We can't afford to lose either of them because that's the two we have. So let's have the quiz at the end, and then we'll even have a special. Let's do a jingle for Michael. You can turn off now. That kind of thing.
Here comes the quiz. Here comes the quiz. You can turn off
Bye-bye,
now.
Michael.
Bye-bye.
And because of this, I have actually, and because we've got David here, I have actually got one prepared for the end of the show. Before we start recording, we were talking Doctor Who.
We were.
And sci-fi. You were amazed by Steve's collection behind him.
Yes.
More Doctor Who, though.
I was. And I'm very pleased Steve is my fellow Generation Xer.
Yep.
And
we are pretty much the same age.
We're bang slap in the middle of Generation X.
Why is it now? Back obviously a generation that was talking 20 years. Now we're talking a generation is every 6 months. It's the next generation. They're the last 6 months, and they're already ridiculing the older generation. They're 6 months older than you. Stop it.
Anyway, talking Generation X, Doctor Who.
Yes,
Doctor Who. My earliest memory. Okay, I don't remember watching any Pertwee. So if you're born in 71, I was born during the Claws of Axos. Okay,
you know exactly which episode.
Pertwee's second season. Okay, so I wouldn't remember that one. I don't remember any of Pertwee's time as the Doctor. The earliest Doctor Who I remember was the Invisible Enemy, the one with the virus, the space station. K9's first appearance.
Oh, yeah, so good.
Yeah, Leela was the companion.
Oh, Leela was great.
She
well,
was
that's what
lovely.
a companion should be.
My dad liked watching Doctor Who when Leela was on.
I bet Leela was awesome. Leela was one of the best, and it's almost like you could never even dream of having a companion like that anymore.
No.
But she was, she had everything. No one's going to mess with Leela. She was the capable one as well.
You get a blow thorn in your
that's it.
your neck if you didn't watch out.
She wasn't going to be taken advantage of, that's for sure. Even in that leopard skin outfit, it wasn't leopard skin. What was it? Leather. In her leatherwear. Yeah.
Then I started watching it properly the season after that, more regularly, the Key to Time season. Was that, and then I watched it all the time after that.
I remember just sitting there with the family. I remember hiding behind the settee, and it was that era. You would hide behind the settee. You just small black and white TV in the corner of the room, and it was still good enough to scare you. And that's what Doctor Who should be scary.
Yeah.
It should be a thing that brings the family together, which is what it did do. You'd sit there with your parents, and they would like protect you.
I suppose being at a smaller telly and black and white. Yes, we had black and white as well. And smaller telly, the bad effects and scenery weren't as noticeable.
Stick it in 4K. Oh, don't want mad.
Yeah.
I will admit that's the funny thing for me. So when I've been watching the older stuff that's now available, because like you said, it's now remastered for HD, you're watching it on a bigger telly. It's very obvious when it's a studio floor, and it's very obvious that the backgrounds are painted on, and you're going, yep.
Yeah. Well, I think what made the difference
sometimes it's more believable watching the black and white Hartnell Charltons because it's the grain quality isn't that good, so it all melds in quite well.
Yeah, but I think what they did though, what they did so well back then is it was story, and you were absolutely involved in the story. Whereas everything afterwards, not everything afterwards. I mean, especially the last few years, it's all just been fluff.
Style over substance, yeah.
Whereas there it was just you would get so wrapped up, especially with your weekly episode. The serial, you had the story every week. You had your cliffhanger at the end. When they took that away from Doctor Who lost so much, having that cliffhanger.
Absolutely, in short spurts, it was really great. I'm trying to think of something else I was going to say. I was going to ask you, what was your first memory?
I'm sure I remember seeing the end of Doctor Who. End of John Pertwee. I'm sure I saw him regenerate into Tom Baker.
You would have been 3. It was 1974.
Because there would have been, because I'm sure it was black and white, because there's lots of stuff. Right, that was for example, there was another TV show which I convinced it's never been shown again, and I convinced this show existed, and it was a puppet show with an elephant, and no one knew anything about it. All black and white. This the elephant puppet show. I tried to find out about it for years. No one knew anything about it. I thought, and it turned out it was a puppet show, and it was on in the early 70s, and it was never repeated. And I remembered that. So I think probably parents weren't having a good time all the time. They just sat us in front of the TV. I think that was it. But I do.
Yeah, so sometimes your memories play tricks on you, don't?
But some things you remember, some things you don't. Like I always remembered having nightmares of Daleks. But also, I think that was because of the Peter Cushing films. That they gave me nightmares about Daleks. I think more so than the TV shows.
No, see, I didn't. I think I came into the Peter Cushing films a bit later. The Peter Cushing films, the Daleks just sprayed clouds of gas, didn't they, in the films?
But they were so ruthless.
Exterminating, which I didn't think was effective. You know, clouds of gas, you could just run away from it.
Yeah. But
extermination laser beams, you know, you can't dodge those.
I mean, look at that giant pit they left that became Bedford. I mean, the Daleks. All the places they could have invaded, it was Bedford, which was great. but it was the scale of the Peter Cushing films, even though it obviously was Doctor Who because of the Daleks, wasn't it? Was it Terrence Dicks? I can't remember who did the Daleks, had the rights to it, so made Doctor Who as in Doctor Who. Terry Nation, that's it. So that's why they managed to do that. And I think it worked really well. I think as films, they were great films. Especially Bernard Cribbins and who was it? Roy Castle.
Roy Castle,
Lots of they were great films.
Yeah.
But then you say about Bedford and the Daleks taking over. Nowadays, as you can see from my side of the studio, you can now see that Bedford is being invaded by Sontarans.
Oh, that's cruel. Was it the Tom Baker one with Sontarans and they actually deflated when they died? Was it
that was the Sontaran experiment.
When they died, they just deflated. They just
he altered. You know, Sontarans charge themselves up with their probic vent. They sort of plug themselves in, and so in that story, Sontaran experiment, the Doctor fiddles with it and makes him implode.
I always remember that was great. That was great. I mean, so good.
So for the listeners to understand why I've mentioned Sontarans, David looks like a Sontaran. That's the joke
David
here.
Doesn't he? Just because he's bald doesn't make him look like a Sontaran. That's harsh. He looks more like a mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
What? in my youth, well, I went bald quite early, but I had sort of Doc hair, Doc Emmett Brown hair, but brown, fully enough. So it looked a bit sort of mad scientist. I looked very much, and without the glasses, I looked very much like Barry from EastEnders. And people kept calling me Barry for ages.
Sorry, oh man, that's really awful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Funny enough,
better being called a Sontaran.
Yeah.
We spoke about lookalikes the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, so Dan is obviously he's not our generation. It's our dad's generation, but Dan is Billy Bunter. Look at Dan. Doesn't Dan look like Billy Bunter?
Yahoo!
We need to stick.
Come in, the head teacher's coming.
I revealed that Steve looks like Orson Welles, but a slimmer Orson Welles.
Oh, not at the moment. I had a lot more facial hair back then, so it looked like old Orson Welles just before he died.
Brian Blessed.
God, that would be so cool to look like Brian Blessed.
So, who, going back to Doctor Who, your favourite Doctor?
Baker.
Or you like the Brigadier? Splendid chap, all of them.
Oh, we met him once. Yeah, he was. We met Brigadier.
Oh,
We met Sergeant as well. Or was it Captain Yates or whatever it was, or Sergeant
Captain
Yates?
Yates, Sergeant Benton.
Captain Yates. Yeah, met him as well. He was really nice. And we actually went to a sci-fi convention in Milton Keynes, and he was there with Noel Clarke as well. He was there.
Mickey, yeah.
And the kids obviously loved Doctor Who, but they were just too shy. And the three of them were sitting there in their little area, and there was nobody else really there. They were so good to the kids. They just, just really interacted with them. They sat down with them. They chatted to them, just made them feel so at home. The three of them were great. The three of them were really good. So good.
Yeah, it's only Sergeant Benton's left alive now.
Yeah.
John Levine. Yeah.
But I did like I think it was was it end of Matt Smith's era? I can't remember if it was in Doctor Who or if it was Sarah Jane Adventures, where when he actually died, they did a whole clip where Matt Smith's Doctor rings and it turns out that he's died.
I can't remember which episode that was.
Yeah, and then he reveals that he had always poured an extra drink for him.
Yeah, glass of sherry for him. Yeah,
that's lovely. It's great, such a great character. Nicholas Courtney was brilliant. Just everybody's gone too soon, isn't it? But you can't be there forever. But sort of leaving that, left a real mark. Unfortunately, not a skid mark like the last couple of Doctors, anyway.
Yeah. I can't believe Tom Baker's still alive.
I know.
92, 93, something like that.
Yeah.
Every time
he's younger than William Shatner. Have we seen William Shatner? He's younger than William Shatner, and William Shatner's still bloody doing TV shows
as
and riding
well.
horses.
96, yeah.
Well, we've talked a lot about aliens.
Have we?
Well, a little bit. Doctor Who's an alien.
Bit.
So I thought we could do a mini mystery based on aliens.
Hey, do we have one?
It's a Boo Foon mini mystery.
We're going to Devon.
Ooh.
And UFOs or UAPs, as we learned we were supposed to call them, in Devon.
Oh, the mystery of the UFO really reached Devon in 1950. This was the year that a flying saucer was spotted and subsequently reported to a bemused county population. At around 11 p.m. on the night of 30th October 1950, Arthur Byrne, a 55-year-old Payton resident, was driving home with his wife and daughter from a badminton tournament when, looking skyward, he spotted two large circular objects travelling south in a horizontal position, looking something like large white flames. So alarmed was he by these objects that he contacted South Devon Police and later asserted, "I would swear that I've said exactly what I saw." Mr. Burns' claim, that's my West Country accent, sorry. Mr. Burns' claim was borne out by the crew of a Liberty boat plying between Flagstaff Steps, Devonport Dockyard and HMS Defiance. These describe two circular objects travelling at an incalculable speed and emitting a trail of fire.
So I'm just gonna say David's accents are better than when I do an accent.
Yeah, but your Norfolk accent is unbeatable.
He's Norfolk and good. The mystery was reported in the Western Morning News of 1st November 1950. The following day, the North Devon Journal backed this up by reporting that Mr. J. Stewart of South Bank, Woolacombe, had spotted a very bright light, twice as bright as any star, shooting through the sky north of Lundy Island at about 10:50 p.m. The object was between 6,000 and 10,000 feet in the night sky and blazed brilliantly for a few seconds. It left a trail and was noiseless, but Mr. Stewart reputed emphatically the suggestion that the object might have been a comet. His impression led him to believe he may have witnessed a craft of some sort. Approximately 12 minutes later, what was presumably the same object was seen from Instow, again only for a few seconds as it flashed across the sky in a southwesterly direction. It's interesting that those in the south perceived two objects, while those on the north coast saw only a singular. Their different vantage points perhaps accounting for the discrepancy, but clearly something, at least, shot through the skies above Devon that night, baffling all who saw it. The end of 1950 was a period of intense celestial activity over Devon, and whether or not what was seen belonged to the realm of inexplicable natural wonder, the media had a field day with suggestions it heralded the arrival of alien beings.
Now, what so far? So this is 1950s. Knowing Devon and the area that it's talking about, and when we did our little walk around Devon, if it were pre-1950 around Devon, that would have been put down to the pixies and the fairies, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or cider. Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, seriously, I honestly don't even think they had cinema down here in the 1950s. It was, I think everything stopped at Bristol. And then after that, it was literally, you had to jump into your Flintstone car and pedal your way here by foot. You know, they wouldn't have had street lights, so everything would have stood out at the night sky. But of course, I'll tell you something, in Plymouth, though, because we've got the naval base here and there's a lot going on in the dockyards, there's very little aerial activity. You'll occasionally see the air ambulance flying over, but there's no airplanes, there's nothing flies over, I think, because the naval base, you don't want anybody flying over the naval base and the dockyards. So there's so little. And so when you do see something here, you really do spot it because it is out of the ordinary. The other day we looked out from the living room. I don't know if you, from our living room, we basically, it's the back view looks over, there's nothing apart from just sky. And we spotted at night there was 3-4 lights moving together in formation. And it's like, that's really unusual. Just didn't expect us, could not think what that would be because we've never seen anything else like that here. Then I quickly downloaded the app that shows you what airplanes are flying over. And it was 4 military planes, just basically close formation, big transporters following each other. So when you're sitting down, you just look up at the sky. Yeah, just those 3-4 lights really stood out. So I think in the 1950s, you would have seen a lot of stars all the time because they wouldn't have been that many streetlights. So yeah, I think it would have been something really unusual. But to me, it just sounds like a meteorite.
Yeah, especially with the trail that was left behind as well.
Yeah, and silent and then just disappears.
On 2nd of December, still 1950, hundreds of Christmas shoppers and spectators at football matches in North Devon saw a bright object in the afternoon sky about 3:45 p.m. It was variously described as a large bright star with a tail of flames and sparks, a giant skittle pin with a luminous trail, an aluminium rocket with a pink, blue or yellow exhaust, and a flying tadpole that left a trail of purple smoke. But the unnerving thing was that it appeared to fly low, almost rooftop height. Some affirmed that there was a distant noise like thunderous gunfire a few minutes after it had passed. The media reported many of them are now convinced they have now seen a flying saucer. In 1967, that's a bit of a leap, there were now two well-known UFO mysteries.
They said they thought they saw it was a flying saucer. No, it was apparently it was either a pink rocket or what was the other description?
Flying tadpole.
Flying tadpole.
Flying tadpole does not sound like a flying saucer to me. They've already said it's either a pink rocket or they may have been up in the same cottage area I was at. Sorry, carry on.
In 1967, there were two now well-known UFO mysteries. At around 11:30 a.m. on 28th of April, hundreds of the people in Torquay, as well as the Berryhead Coast Guard, watched a silvery-coloured object pass over Tor Bay in the direction of Brixham. Here, it obligingly hovered at a height of around 16,000 feet, allowing people to observe it in great detail. Some believed they were looking at a huge dome-shaped object with a door in its side. After about an hour, it climbed rapidly and vanished. Later that year, 2 policemen hit the national headlines when they chased bright lights in the shape of a pulsating cross at about 4 a.m. on 24th of October. Constables Roger Willie and Clifford Waycott were on... Shut up. Oh, the word Willie's coming. Oh.
Yeah,
Back,
well,
back to the cottaging area again.
Yeah.
What we were talking about.
It's spelled Willey.
Yeah, but we were
Giant
talking
Willie in
about
that car over there.
we were talking about a pink rocket, and now somebody called Willie has now seen
Roger Willie.
Yeah.
Roger, with flying tadpoles.
Right. Roger and Cliff were on a patrol when they spotted the object at Anvil Corner, 2 miles east of Holsworthy. According to reports at the time, they drove over to investigate, but the light moved off at an alarmingly high speed near treetop level, prompting an insane 10-mile chase reaching speeds of up to 90 miles an hour. The nearest they got was about 40 yards from the thing, when the object appeared to stop in a field. The men got out of their car, but the strange light vanished. At a press conference, Willie stated, "It looked like a star-spangled cross." Sorry, they do my country accent. "It looked like a star-spangled cross, radiating points of light from all angles. It seemed to be watching us and would not let us catch up. It had terrific angles, seemed to be watching us and would not let us catch up. It had terrific acceleration and knew we were chasing it." The Ministry of Defence later declared the object had been a giant jet tanker of the US Air Force on a refueling mission, although it was quickly established that none of the tankers was airborne at the time. Other explanations concern stars and planets distorted by atmospheric conditions, and we have seen a like phenomenon already reported in 1938, but this is a mystery that continues to fascinate in Devon, not having been explained to everyone's satisfaction.
Well, being somebody who lives in Devon, that's the first I've heard about it. No one else is talking about it, honestly. I think that they might be exaggerating a bit at the end. Because no one's mentioned it since I've been here. Oh, look, they've done a painting. I found the news item from them, and they actually did a picture, but they did a painting of the thing, and it's basically just a star. It's literally just a star. And there's Willie pointing up at the sky.
Right.
Yeah, look, just pointing nice and look up there
with his pink rocket.
That's yeah. No, I can't see anybody. But this 67, I don't know. Are there any roads that anyone could actually drive in at 100? It's like 90 miles an hour in Devon. Actually, yeah, talk about it. Most of those country lanes, there's somebody at driving 90 miles an hour down them. So yeah, it could have been done. But they didn't like. Okay, so again, they said the official story. It was an American refueling tanker plane, but it hovered over a field, and I don't think American tankers, no matter how big they're refueling, hover over a field.
No, I mean, and they also said
in the same way that Harrier jump jets do.
Yeah, that's it.
And they also said that all the tankers were grounded at the time. So
yep. But they would have spotted weird things. Like I said, back in the early 1990s, my wife, myself, and my friends came to Devon, and everybody thought that we were looked at like we were aliens, because it's like 2 mixed race couples turn up in Devon. Nobody in the early 90s had ever seen a mixed race couple, I don't think, in Devon, because I think they'd only just got TV and it was still black and white. They couldn't tell. But we walked into we walked into a pub, and it was like walking into the Slaughtered Lamb in American Wolf in London. The music stopped, everybody stopped. They just turned and stared at us. So it was like a Welsh guy, white Welsh guy, and his Chinese wife, and there was me, overweight white guy and his black wife, and it's like no one had ever seen a couple like that, or 2 couples like that walking into a pub in Devon. It was one of the reasons we were a bit worried about actually moving here, because then we realised people have moved on a bit. They've actually got to TV now, and the internet really helped.
It was a local town for local people.
Yes.
It's a Boo Foon mini mystery.
I still think that he'd be, that lot, they would be good showrunners for Doctor Who. I think if they all got together, League of Gentlemen blokes.
Yeah, I really hope they've put a bid in for it.
Yeah, I tell you, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost had put a bid in for it.
Yes,
and if Edgar Wright was involved as well, can you imagine the creativity in there? I think they would be so loyal to the original.
Yeah, well, that's what they need. They need somebody, a new team, to just come in, a brand new, refresh writing team who are passionate about Doctor Who. Basically, what Russell T Davies was when he rebooted it, before he then destroyed it. But
I still think the best thing they can do is everything that happened after Sylvester McCoy. No, okay, let's Paul McGann. I like Paul McGann. I know he did more Big Finish audio than any other Doctor, I think, for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think, okay, so anything after Paul McGann was just a dream. I think Paul McGann wakes up in the shower and just realizes he just had a really bad nightmare. And every Doctor Who
this is Dallas.
Yeah, that's it.
Bobby Ewing.
Yep, that's the one. I think that's it. And he wakes up and just realizes it's all a bad dream. Then he slips on a bar of soap and then dies and regenerates into whoever would be the next Doctor. Which I still think maybe, we can make Richard D. Grant official.
And then the young guy here would rather it be Peter Capaldi, but right at, his very first episode when he's like sleeping in bed and stuff with the dinosaur. I think that's actually no, because then that gets rid of Hell Sent and Hell Bent and Heaven Sent.
Yeah.
So maybe have it. So, when hit the whole Clara thing and him forgetting Clara, I think that worm thing that they touch for him to forget Clara, that's the point where they go, oh, so therefore we don't get that stupid storyline with Bill, whose only character development was I'm a black lesbian, look at me.
I'm a lesbian. I did like the episode. She was in her last episode was good though. I did like that.
Oh yeah, with the
when he goes into the stasis capsule in the Under the Lake one.
Yes.
You could have him come out saying, "Oh, that was a nice nap."
Still, I love Eccleston and David Tennant before he became a complete nutcase. He was a great Doctor. Peter Capaldi was fantastic. I even loved Matt Smith eventually. Actually, didn't take long for me to like him. He was actually really likable. But as far as they still don't feel like Doctor Who because it wasn't Doctor Who anymore. Should have been just called The Companion is Doctor Who. Because it was just about the companion was the main story. Each companion was the most important person in the universe. Every one of them. It's not like just one, but why was every single one of them the most important person in the universe? And he all ended up with the Doctor and made him a co-star in his own show. That's why that's controversial perhaps, but that's why I never really saw them as proper Doctor Who because it never felt like it. Companions should have been what we were. The companion was the audience. The audience are the companion. We're going along with the ride. We should never be leading it. Like in Ghostbusters, Winston was us. We were Winston. We were the everyman who joined the Ghostbusters, who was the outsider. Then the companion was that. That's why a lot of people love Winston in Ghostbusters because that's who we followed. And the companion was who we were. We could put ourselves in the companion's shoes. But once a companion became the most important part of the story and it was all around them, then it's like, well, we can't relate to this now because none of us, we all know we're not every other generation after Generation X know they are the most important player in this, But that's what I found with it. That's why I felt it just never quite felt like Doctor Who when it came back because it was never really about the Doctor.
I will admit, going back to you saying about Winston, that's my favourite bit about the new Ghostbusters is the fact that Winston is the saviour of the Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you say that was the companion thing? Would you say that was always true of the classic series, even when at times the TARDIS was crowded. I'm just thinking back to the beginning of the Davison era, where you had
I liked it
Tegan,
when it was crowded.
Nissa, Adric, and Turlo. You know, the TARDIS was pretty crowded at that point.
Yeah. But you know what? I actually quite like those days.
Did that overshadow the Doctor?
I think sometimes it did, because obviously you had the Turlo was the bad guy, and you had Adric was the idiot who everybody hated anyway. Then he goes, oh God. But do you know what, though? We cheered when he died. And to actually have a companion where you remember cheering when they die is great. I mean, not many companions did die, but yeah, when Adric went, it's like everybody celebrated. I think we had a street party.
Is it too
Adric
soon
was your favourite character, was it, David? I can tell by your face you liked Adric.
No. I cheered a bit when Adric died. Yeah, I was sad when Perry supposedly died.
Perry was great. Perry worked really well, and to see it come back as well later on. But of course, Sarah Jane, obviously, I think was the ultimate companion for me. Sarah Jane was just the best, because she was smart, and she lasted multiple Doctors, multiple series, and all the way up to when she died, she was playing that same character and loved by generations. This is how you do a companion you can relate to, but somebody who isn't an idiot, isn't a fall guy, somebody who doesn't guide it but knows how to cope, and is a competent companion. And she was just amazing.
It's a shame her leaving was a bit abrupt.
Yes.
As well. He was recalled to Gallifrey, wasn't he? And then had to dump Sarah Jane back off. Yeah.
Did she dump her with K9, didn't he? And they just go off together, her and K9. That was it. That was
no. Sarah Jane was before K9.
Because I remember that they meet up again?
The Doctor sent her K9.
Okay, I remember
K9 Mark III. He sent in a big cardboard box. That was that K9 and Company one-off spin-off.
That's it, K9 and Company. I remember seeing her with K9 a lot.
Yeah.
K9 again. That was probably a mistake. K9 was probably a mistake. I mean, just because R2D2 was around, let's stick in a robot. but it didn't really work, did he? Everybody loves K9 though, but it's not fantastic.
Yeah, in a lot of stories, he was written out.
Yeah.
Oh dear, the TARDIS lands on a marsh planet. Oh, how are we going to get K9 to work? No, let's have him stuck in the TARDIS. Yeah. Yes, let's have something wrong with him.
At least
the Leisure Hive, when they're set on Brighton Beach at the beginning of the season, he gets seawater in and explodes his head off. And so that's him out of the rest of the story. Okay, who's the worst companion?
They were good together.
Who's the worst companion?
Bonnie Langford.
At the time, she actually wasn't too bad in the most recent bits.
No, but back in the day, she was awful because she was just awful and everything. But then I wasn't really a fan of Ace either at the time. But she grew on me afterwards, I think. Yeah. But again, just too over the top. But then the whole show became very over the top at that point. I think they were just desperate for it to survive. Or just desperate to kill it, one or the other.
We say worst companion. Where do you go for with the latest stuff? Like, I hated. Well,
I didn't nearly watch the last couple of Doctors. So.
Yeah, I don't. I think the last companion I actually liked was Clara. Because I didn't like Bill annoyed me because her character development was just I'm a black lesbian and that's it. She had a part, and then suddenly she then becomes a Cyberman, and suddenly, oh, you're now an interesting character.
Yeah, and then it's such a great character at that point.
Yeah, and then
I did like Nardole.
Is that because you look like Nardole?
Oh, shut up!
Is that
Matt Lucas?
I was going to say, is that Matt Lucas? Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to think of any other person I can think of. No, I can't think of you looking like anybody else for a companion. Those little flump characters.
You must be looking at this side of the camera thinking it's Lou and Andy.
Yeah, no. I want to be baby Jesus.
Yeah. But yeah, and then again, none of Jodie's companions I really warmed to. Because Bradley
Graham was awful.
Yeah, Bradley Walsh wound me up. Yaz, I didn't like the fact that all her thing was, look at me, I'm a police officer, and was she Muslim or something? Or Hindu, one or the other. And it was like, look at me, I'm a police officer, and then suddenly they turn a gay.
And Dan was so two-dimensional. It was beyond belief.
He wound me up no end. And I'm not a fan of John Bishop anyway.
Yeah.
As a comedian, so that just wound me up. And then obviously Shooty's companions, like Millie Gibson was nice to look at, but that was about it. Our character was boring as anything. And then was it Belinda, the new one?
Oh,
the character development was, here's somebody that's basically a really bad version of Martha Jones. And she's dull as anything. And the only relatable thing about her is she's been kidnapped by aliens and the doctor's now saved her. And that was it. Well, the robot-y sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Putting it out there. Which celebrity guest on an individual episode or series, both classic and modern, would have made a great companion?
The man from Love Actually, who sang the song in Love Actually. I can't remember the actor's name.
Bill Nighy.
Bill Nighy.
What, the curator?
Yeah.
And Vincent van Gogh one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because he liked bow ties.
Good. I don't know. I'll tell you who I always wanted to see, but obviously will never be now because he's not around. And I think Anthony Head would have been a fantastic Doctor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a role he was born to play, and I think if he'd have been the Doctor and allowed to that story being be able to follow it, it could have been one of the greats. I think
he's
he
only
could
just
have
passed
played
away,
it.
isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just recently, yeah. And I think he would have been amazing. The only other person I think I really wanted to be the Doctor was David Warner, who was obviously in that.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
But then
He was in
Doctor
it on
Big Finish.
the submarine one.
Yeah, he was in the submarine one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was, when I saw him in it, and I thought, I always loved David Warner and everything he ever did. And again, he would have been amazing.
Yeah.
All those years he spent in America doing low budget horror films, classic horror films. He could have been doing Doctor Who, and it would have been, he would have been just perfect. But maybe he was too big a star, He might have been too big for it.
Mm.
What about you? Who do you think?
Oh, companion or Doctor? Or both?
Companion, yeah.
Oh God. I think the Doctor, he's only been in it once, albeit a voice. Can you guess?
Richard E. Grant, Great Intelligence.
No, he was.
Oh, but then he was, yeah. Only been a voice.
I give you a clue.
This is basically hanging out with David. Is like when we do like the movie nights, he will turn to me and just start throwing this sort of thing out at me, and then he'll then go, "I'll give you a clue," and then it's always the world's worst clue. It will be something ridiculous like he wore a blue suit. And you're like, great, loads of people have worn a blue suit. Thank you for that hint, David.
I'll give you a clue. Revisiting old control rooms.
What, Journey to Centre of the TARDIS?
No.
Oh, the one when they're stuck on the planet, when the people are trying to eat them in the TARDIS.
Who plays House?
I can't remember.
Hugh Laurie?
Michael Sheen.
Oh, yeah. He would be a great Doctor.
And actually, in fact, he's good friends with David Tennant, isn't he? They're in that
Stage.
Omens.
I tell you, the complete I know, very unpopular suggestion, but the person I would love to see more than anybody else, who's young enough to do it for years, and is also weird enough to be absolutely perfect, and that's Richard Ayoade.
Oh, he would be a good Doctor.
Because do you remember when he used to do what was it called, the Crystal Maze, And they used to lead everybody around and tell him what they were going to do the next task. And if anyone tried to touch me, said, don't touch me, don't get anywhere. And he would just like, don't get anywhere near me, because he had all his, he was still him, but he was also like leading this weird situation. And I think he's just interesting enough. But again, I think it's still too big. I think if anybody was going to be the Doctor now, like they said, they're finding it hard to find anyone who wants to be the Doctor. Because you can't have anybody too established. I think having somebody, an older actor at the end of their career, is better than having a younger actor who wants to have a career.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Matt Smith has barely done anything memorable since he's gone. David Tennant is just David Tennant, and that's just whether that's good or bad, depending on your point of view. But I think we need to go back to older actors again. Peter Capaldi was fantastic. Yeah. He just needed better stories. For me, he was my number 2 after Tom Baker. Peter Capaldi was just, when I heard he came out, and it's like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah. It's just the best thing ever. He's going to be the best than just giving terrible stories.
I thought he's going to be as foul-mouthed as Malcolm Tucker.
Yeah.
But
so good.
He toned it down. It was good.
Yeah, he did.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the magnificent, the marvelous, the mind-bogglingly mediocre Boo Foons Game Show! Tonight we have one contestant, just one, because that's all we could convince to show up. Give a warm, supportive groan for the ever-suffering Steve! And steering this glitter-encrusted disaster with the confidence of a man who absolutely believes this is a legitimate game show, your host, the incomparable, the unstoppable, the chaos conductor himself, Dan!
Obviously, we've had a very nerdy episode of geeking out about Doctor Who. So if you're still here because you're a Doctor Who fan, here's a Doctor Who quiz for you. And I will say, David, can't see the answers. It's on my phone. And
yeah, but
I will also point out the answers.
I won't know the answers.
Blanked out. Yeah.
I like Doctor Who. I loved it. But I don't have a... David, okay, David, you're answering this on your own. Unless, okay, if I know any, I'll let you know, okay?
Okay.
But otherwise, they're yours. They're yours, all right?
Yeah. Okay.
He's nerdy enough to be about Doctor Who to basically get every single one of these.
Oh, my God.
This conversation, I've seen that. That's why I'm not even going to try.
Right. Well, the first one, you've both sort of half answered already. When did Bernard Cribbins first appear in Doctor Who?
When?
Yep, when?
Well, it'd be 1964.
Oh, David, you got it wrong.
66?
66.
Was the film that later?
So
God,
the first one. So
Roy Castle was in the first one.
Roy Castle, 64. Yeah. Bernard Cribbins, 66.
Yeah. No, 65, I got one. The first one.
65.
So Doctor and the Daleks was 65. Dalek Invasion of Earth, 2150 AD was 1966.
Oh,
I'll take that.
The second one. Yeah.
I will flagellate myself.
Yeah.
I got it wrong. Dobby must be punished.
What is the only episode of Doctor Who not to feature the Doctor or the companions at all?
I know this one.
Is it the no, because the Doctor was in it, wasn't it? I was going to say the one with the Weeping Angels in, but it wasn't that one. No, I can't think. No.
It's a standalone episode, but it also links to a story that came 5 episodes later. It's Mission to the Unknown.
It is Mission to the Unknown.
Where Agent Mark Corey, it sets it up on Kemble, the jungle planet. It just sets up events that transpire later in the Daleks' master plan. You have a story in between called The Myth Makers, where they pick up Katerina, who's involved in the Daleks' master plan. So
it's William Hartnell to answer your question.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
In which episode was the sonic screwdriver destroyed permanently, or at least for the rest of the classic era?
That's one thing I don't like. A sonic bloody screwdriver. Terrible invention.
I'll give you a clue. It was Peter Davison. I'll
I
give you
have no
another
idea
clue.
what it
First
is.
season.
First season, The Death of the Sonic Screwdriver. There we go.
Peter
No, I
Davison's
get that.
first season. It was The Visitation.
It was the
The
Visitation.
one with the pterodactyls.
Very good.
So we spoke about him earlier and his departure from the show. Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. What was his rank when he first appeared?
The story in which he first appeared was the Web of Fear, the Yeti in the underground. Troughton. He was a colonel.
He was a
Oh,
colonel.
well done.
In The Next Doctor, what does Jackson Lake claim the TARDIS stands for?
Oh, it's a balloon. Something in style. Tethered, aerial. Just writing this down. Tethered, aerial, something done in style. That's the best I can do.
You're almost there.
Yeah.
So you're right in saying it's the hot air balloon.
Yeah,
You've got the tethered, aerial, and in style correct.
yeah.
So
Tethered,
it's just the
aerial,
R and the
Defense?
D you're looking for.
Defense?
It's not defense,
done in style.
not done in style.
Delivered,
No,
deployed,
no. But that gives you a clue to the R.
redeployed.
Let me know when you want me to put you out of your misery.
Now,
Released. There you go.
Release.
Tethered aerial released.
Yeah,
There you go,
release
you
is
got
the
it,
R.
yeah.
So tethered aerial release, you've got that bit, and then you've just got the D then. So tethered
deployed,
aerial release,
deployed.
something in style, not deployed.
No. Developed.
Yes.
what?
Developed. Tethered aerial
Aerial
release,
release,
developed in
developed in
style.
Style.
I was half there.
You were. You wouldn't have got it without you.
It's the balloon.
What was the PC game which featured Anthony Ainley's final performance as the Master?
It was 1990s. Destiny of the Doctors.
It was called
Yeah.
Destiny of the Doctors.
Very good.
How many John Pertwee episodes had the Cybermen as the main villain?
0.
Yeah, well done. None of
In
them.
fact, the Cybermen only appear once during the Third Doctor's era. In the Carnival of Monsters, you know, the miniscope with the Drashigs in and everything. There's a monster I want to see coming back. The Drashigs. They were brilliant.
Describe the Drassigs. The
They're
Drassigs. Describe
sort of got eyes on stalks, live on marshlands. They looked a lot like glove puppets with teeth.
them. Zig and Zag.
Yeah, but bigger versions of that. I think with modern CGI and AI, they'd be perfect. But in Carnival of Monsters, they would just see once in a clip.
The Drassigs were only seen once in a clip, or the Cybermen.
Cybermen were only seen
Okay.
once in a clip.
And how many times have the Drassigs been in there? And
Once.
do you once, and you remember their name? Well, they're in.
Drashigs.
Drassigs. I definitely shouldn't be doing this game. I'm definitely retiring from this one. Carry on, and pressing, Dave. Carry on and pressing.
So the last question I've got is, what was the first episode to name the Doctor's home planet as Gallifrey?
That would be the first episode of John Pertwee's final season, and I was in it, the Time Warrior. Sontaran, the first appearance of the Sontarans.
I'm impressed. Very, very impressive. Or very, very sad.
Yeah, nerdy, very nerdy.
Very nerdy.
So there you go. There's the game show today showing off David's insane. But basically, what I've realised is I surround myself with older men who know lots about stuff. So David knows pretty much everything there is to do with Doctor Who, and you know everything there is to know about movies.
Even what year the Doctor Who movie was. So that's
Yeah.
a good sign. Yeah, that's why I couldn't get the TV shows right.
Boo Foons Game Show!
So, if you could have any control, both of you, over the future of Doctor Who, what would you do? If you had an option to bring it back, what direction would you take it?
Back to basics. Whoever's coming in needs a good knowledge of the classic era. Look back, see what worked. What worked was, as you said earlier on, the dialogue, the scripting, the acting. Disney ruined it in the last couple of seasons. Yeah, go back to basics.
And Dan, what do you think?
I will admit I do agree with you on the Disney, because one of the charms so going right back to one of the conversations we had earlier, my first interaction with Doctor Who was Spearhead from Space, John Pertwee on UK TV Gold. That was my first ever introduction to Doctor Who, and then
first episode to be shot in colour.
Yeah, and because
it was all shot on film because there was a BBC strike on for studio strike.
So we can get a 4K release of that.
Film. Sorry.
So we can get a 4K on that then. If the shot on film.
And then obviously watching all the classic stuff that was constantly repeated on there, and then when Christopher Eccleston joined, my younger brother was actually watching it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, there's this man called Christopher Eccleston that's the Doctor," and I was like, "I've never heard of that person before." So I actually came into the new era when they were in Second World War with Captain Jack. That was my yeah.
You know,
so I started partway through, but
that was the first warning sign for me, that where it was going, when Captain Jack just admitted he wanted to sleep with the Doctor, and he would sleep with her, and it became now for the first time you started talking about sexuality. Doctor Who up until that point was family entertainment. Now he's talking about being bisexual, sleeping with whoever he wants. That isn't now. That wasn't again Doctor Who. You've crossed a line that should never been stopped. This should have been. This is always a family show. And it should. That's why it survived, because it was a family show. You take away the family element, which is what they did, and you start losing your direction. And I think I love Captain Jack. I think fantastic character. I don't think Barrowman should have been cancelled. I know he's a lunatic, but that's it. He's always never admitted to be anything but. They crossed the line, and that was the start. It's almost like we can get away with this. Now, what can we get away with next?
Yeah.
And it's like this. Yeah.
So to answer your question about which direction would I go in, one very simple thing: I'd cast myself as the Doctor.
Okay. And the next week, when the series is cancelled, how would you bring it back again? The more chance casting you as K9, I think that was it. Just little.
I will be your evil nemesis, not a Sontaran.
Then I'll just get the League of Gentlemen to write it, because we know Mark Gatiss can do scary. We know he can do good writing.
Well, they all can, can't they?
And then obviously with what we've seen with Inside Number 9 from Rhys Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton, they can write anything.
Yeah.
They can do comedy, they can do thriller, they can do horror, they can do drama. And I tell you, the thing about them as well, they have an agenda, and their agenda is make the best TV possible. Exactly.
And when that's the agenda we want from the people who will need to run a show, especially something like Doctor Who, which is not just a TV show. Doctor Who is more than that. And I think the trouble is the people in charge just don't know. They don't know. They've never had a love for anything apart from obviously themselves, that they don't actually realize what normal people love and why it's so successful.
So I think that's a wrap for today's episode of Boo Foons Off the Case. Thank you, David, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Yes, thank you. I've learned a lot through this episode. This is probably the most. Well, actually, I've learned that
I've learned a lot through this episode. Some things I didn't want to know. Yeah.
Well, at least next time you're in Plymouth, I can show you the best cottaging spots. And remember, there's that as well. So very good spot when you can go looking at UFOs, and then people decide they want to. You're looking for UAP, and they're looking for an FAP.
Yeah.
And on that note, you can find us on all of the social media. So do search for Boo Foons Mystery Investigators on your favorite social media platform: Facebook, X, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram. You can find us there. Do check out the website boofoons.co.uk with loads of excellent content, all curated by Steve. And if you're feeling very generous, do look at our Patreon page and do consider donating. Have loads of bonus content on there if you do. And on top of that, if you want to chat to us, do join our Discord. You can find the link to it either in the description of this video or on our website, where you can find the link on our website. And that should take you straight to our Discord server for you to join. So thank you for listening this week. That was probably the most professional one I've done.
Yeah, but you should have left the millennial pause there at the end, rather than straight into it. You're gonna have to record that again now, you know.
Yeah, I might end up cutting that and using that again.
Boo Foons, mystery investigators.
Off the case.